Good morning. So today we're going to service these boilers, these burners, these filters, or filters and air separators, and then turn them off for the winter. It's a nice setup, nice and clean. Nice if the floor was a different colour, make it a bit brighter in here, but anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, so super important here is actually make sure they run before I start. I'm going to start with boiler number 1. So that's good. So this one runs and lights. It's all good. Look at the run time on the boilers. One's double the other. The boiler 2 doesn't run very often. So this year, because this is my first year doing this, I will open up both of them, but boiler 1 will get a clean regardless because it's got so much usage on it. Boiler 2 will only get one if it visually needs one. Alright, so one side's done. Doesn't look done, does it? But it is. I'm going to hoover out all the bits here now. I've brushed it all. That's why it's all collected like that. So now I'm going to hoover out all them bits in between. Alright, so that's the top side all brushed out. I'm going to put this bit back together, open up the bottom side. Obviously check the seals, make sure they're not too hard, and yeah, put the baffles back in. That bit's done. We'll open up the bottom now, give that a clean out, and then we'll get on with the burner. So far so good. Alright, so clean top, clean bottom, brushed it all out, now the burner's out. We're going to deal with this. Alright, so that's back on. Also, the boiler's all serviced, the nozzle's changed, the electrodes have been set. Now going to do the filtered air, get this connected back up, and do the pressures and combustion. And that'll be one boiler done. Alright, so I've taken the old filter out. That's the new filter that's going in. You can see the debris it's caught. You can see the colour of it. It's not particularly bad if I'm honest. It's dirty, but it's not horrendous. That's the new filter going to go in. Alright, so obviously I've cleaned all of this out as well. And going to put that on there, and that's that filter done. Get this connected up and combustion analyse. Alright, so for some reason I wasn't getting very good oil flow out of the filter. So I've just connected that on and pulled it through. And I waited till I was getting no bubbles. It was just nice pure oil, so that's done. Bit of a pain, but at least I've got the pump, so I'm just going to do the other one automatically once it's all ready. Just about to connect my gauges into this, and I thought let me just check the flexible hoses, make sure they're in the right ones. Okay, so if you look in, out, so this is the return line here, yeah, this one. Pretty obvious, yeah, it's going out. That's the return line. Yeah. Goes into that side of the gok. The one, look, I've marked it as 2 and 2. That's actually meant to be the flow. So this has actually been somehow connected up backwards. I'm guessing it obviously doesn't matter because this runs, but I'm going to sort that out as well. Obviously I'm going to be careful when I check them, but I did mark the hoses before I disconnected them, so this couldn't be my fault, and it's not my fault, but it is wrong, so I've got to swap them around now. Oh, joys. Alright, so we're ready to go at last. Analyzer's ready to go, the smoke tester's round there ready to go. I've got it locked on for burner stage 1, so we check pump pressure at 1, we check the air hydraulic air ram at 1, then we'll check the smoke and the combustion, and providing that's good, then we'll move on to 2. Yeah, so let's turn it on and see what happens. They were lit. So, vacuum's good. Pressure is a little low. We'll tweak that up. Air should be 3.5. Air is good. So let's tweak the pump pressure a wee bit. Look at that. So yeah, I tweak the pump pressure a little bit. It's then running and warming up. I then do a smoke test. The smoke test is good. I'll then do a combustion analysis. So pump pressure's now at 9. Let's go do some smoke tests. Okay, so the first smoke test was pretty bad. I would say that's going to be up there, probably an 8 or something. So just let it all warm up, give it 10 minutes and we'll give it another one before we adjust anything. After tweaking it down, I got it down to a 1. I did have that in there, but anyway, so I've got it down to a 1, so I've now got the analyzer in it. It's quite high on the CO2 here, it's too high. It's too high, that needs to be 13. CO's high, let's get that to 13. So I've adjusted the fuel pressure down by half a bar. The CO's coming down. Need the CO2 to come down now. Something's odd there. Why is the O2 so low? Something not right with that. We'll see. So I just pulled this off to check. We're at 20.7 in here, 20.8, it's creeping up. So that was a correct oxygen reading. So there's something up there, something majorly up. Alright, so the fuel pressure's down low now. I've adjusted the ram more, and still only at 2.2% O2, 13.9 CO2. We're now at 7.5. If not, the combustion head's got to be set wrong. It's got to be, because we've got a little bit more air than we should. We're running a lower pump pressure than we should. It can only be the head is set, the head isn't letting enough air through. So that'll be the next thing I do. I'll turn it off and I'll check that. So we're clean, we're burning clean, just not right. So it's lovely and clean, just quite high on the CO2 percentage. So this boiler, this shell wants 13 on the CO2 on oil, yeah? And 9.5 if it was on gas. So we've got to get it right, it's very important. Alright, so I've adjusted the combustion head ever so slightly. We're I think we're better. 13.2, 13.3. Oh, that's annoying. Finally got boiler 1 done. Stage 2 doesn't work on it for whatever reason. I obviously linked out the boiler controls to bring on stage 2, it still didn't bring it on. I linked out the Riello box on there, still didn't bring it on. So there's a problem with stage 2 on that, but stage 1 set up fine. And this one, as you can see, is clean because this one hasn't been being used. So this one's got half the run hours of the other one, look. 1,543. So this one hasn't been doing anything. So it doesn't need a clean, but I am going to get in there and make sure it works. Alright, so I'm doing the second one now. This is the combustion head. And this was actually set to 1. And in the book it clearly says it's meant to be set to 4 for this nozzle size. So just set the electrodes again. Here's how it tells you to set the combustion head, and this is the table. So we're assuming we're using the gas oil type products. It's not red, but it's definitely not kerosene. And the combustion head setting should be 4. Now, I'll be completely honest, I didn't check that one because I assumed it would be correct, but then when I had the problem setting combustion, I tweaked the combustion head and I got it in range. But to get it in range, I had to reduce the oil pressure, open the air more on the fan to get that in range. So probably what's going on there is that combustion head was never set. I should have tested this one before, to be honest. But I've changed the nozzle, set the electrodes, I've set the combustion head, put it back together, fire it, and we'll probably find that it will be really low on CO2, and I'll have to adjust the pump pressure up to get it correct. And if that's the case, then I will have to take this one back off, set that combustion and redo everything I've just done. Spent 2 hours on it. Anyway, it is what it is. This is why you do servicing properly. Okay, so because I made such a big adjustment to that combustion head, I don't know how that's going to affect this. So I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to stand back here while it lights. Lit, and again we're burning at 7.5 bar. I'm going to go and do a smoke test, which should be clean, and then when I put an analyzer in it, it'll be way too clean, as in the CO2 will be low. Okay, so as expected, spotless, absolutely spotless. So I reckon the CO2 is going to be low now. I'll give it a few minutes to warm up. We're at 12. I reckon if I left this head the way it was in that one, we would be up at 15s again on this one. So I'm adjusting the pump pressure up. And it's bringing our CO2 up. But I reckon that's it, that's set now. I reckon the head on that one is wrong. So the reading is 12.5 to 13 in the boiler book. Okay, so we're at 12.8. I'm going to call that good. So this one was easy. I bet the, oh, it's so annoying. This one's done. Alright, so this one's running fine on stage 2. So there's a problem with that when it doesn't run on stage 2. This one's running fine on stage 2. The combustion's off, but it's off on the safe side of everything. So I'm going to get setting that up now in a sec. But yeah, this one's better. Okay, so real quickly what I'm doing here now, this one all works and is set up. I've taken the control box off. I am just going to do a resistance check through the solenoid for stage 2. I'm going to compare that to that one over there, just because I want to find out why stage 2 doesn't work on that. Alright, so once I've found out why stage 2 doesn't work, I'm then going to adjust the head to where it's meant to be. We'll see, I might be wrong and it is set up, but this one wasn't. And if someone's not set this one up, I'm assuming someone's not set that one up, which is pretty crazy really. But yeah, so I'm going to just test this one, take the cover off that, test that one. Hopefully it's just a solenoid. It could be this thing, whatever this, I can't remember what this is called, a delay something or other. Could be this that's causing the problem. So we'll see. Alright, so here we are, I've pulled this back out. I don't know how, it's a little bit warm. Place your bets. So this is meant to be set to 4. Now I'm going to need, let me get this undone. Let me see if I can set you up over here. Let's have a butcher's. Not too hot, right. That one went. That one went. So these are meant to be set to 4. When I took that one there off, it was set to 1. And it being set to 1 would explain why the combustion was so off. And why the fuel pressure had to be put so low. That's the only way they could get the combustion anywhere near reasonable. Yeah, because remember I turned it on, it had 7 bar of fuel pressure and we're still at 15% CO2. So let's see if this is set. Yeah, it is, right. There you go. Set to 1. So that's why I was having problems getting combustion set on this. So neither of these have had this head set up properly. So everything I've done here to get combustion reasonable, I have to redo. Should have checked this the first time. Should have done it. My mistake. You live and learn. So there you go. It's now set to 4. So if you look in here, so what that actually does, when you turn this screw, it pulls that inner piece back or forward. And that inner piece is that piece at the side there, which is where the air comes through. So the fact that that was on 1 meant it was pushed right up tight, so barely any air came through the sides of the flame. So because there wasn't enough air, the CO2 was very high. And that, my oxygen level, I said there must be something wrong, didn't I? My analyzer was up there and I said there's something wrong, my oxygen level was way too low. Well, there you go, that's what it was. The head wasn't set up. So people have been coming around here, servicing it, and never realised that was the problem. Alright, so people ask how I became a good engineer. This is part of it. I was done. That boiler was done. I could have went home, because this one's burning safely. But I knew that if they hadn't done that one, they probably haven't done this one, in which case I've fudged it to get the combustion correct, and it isn't actually running the way it's designed to. Okay, took it apart, found the problem. That now means I have to redo everything I've already done: the pump pressure, the air gate, and the combustion. So this is how I become good. I don't shy away from the problems I cause myself. I could have been gone at least half hour ago. So I'd have been gone at 1:30 and on my way home. Instead, I'm here doing this, and it's probably going to take me another hour now to get out of here. But this is it. This is how you become good. Anyway, I'm going to get on with it. So what I'm saying here now that I've adjusted the combustion head, when I fire the boiler, this analyzer will be running real clean. It'll be very low on the combustion side of things. The CO2 percentage will be low. Then as I add in more fuel pressure, it will start to creep up. And then as I add in less air, it will then creep up. 12.5 to 13 on stage 1. That's all together. So I've got that ready to adjust. Because I've adjusted the head, I don't want to stand there while it lights. Get it to light. It's lit. Now I'm going to come over here and set it up. Look at that. Let's see what we're at here. I have already adjusted this slightly. Oh, that's probably a bit low now. So I already adjusted that air gate. So we want 12.5 to 13. So let's improve it. So that's fuel pressure set where it's meant to be. The air gate still needs fettling a little bit maybe. And look at that, we're in range. So the combustion heads are never set up on these. No wonder I had problems, I should have checked it. Schoolboy error. Never mind, never mind.